Hi, everybody. It's Paul from AdEspresso here. Thanks for joining us today for our webinar with Amy Landino. So just want to check that you can all hear us. So if you can just see the questions box there, if you can just put a little comment, let us know if you can see our screens, if you can hear us all okay there. So just a little bit of housekeeping before we start. Just to let you know, yes, we are recording there. And we're going to put it in the Facebook group afterwards and also in the app in the AdEspresso University there. And we're going to be taking questions. So Amy's going to be answering those at the end. So if you've got any questions, just put them in the chat box there. Yep. So thanks for people that have responded saying they can hear us okay. So just a quick intro on Amy Landino. Some of you might know her from her previous name before she got married of Amy Schmittauer. Amy Landino is definitely a lot easier to spell there. And also known for her previous brand as Savvy Sexy Social, now known as Amy.tv on YouTube. So a few little things about Amy. Amy's YouTube channel, it's been going for, I think, 7 years now. There's just about every video on there. 175,000 subscribers. Saw one of the videos got well over 500,000, about 600,000 views. So Amy definitely knows what she's doing with vlogging. She's also a keynote speaker, and I know she presents at social media marketing world every year, because that's where my colleague Antonio normally meets up with her. Yeah, she's author of Vlog Like a Boss, a book there if you want to learn how to do your own vlogging there, and subtitled How to Kill It Online with Video Blogging. So yeah, Amy's definitely very good at YouTube, speaking, authoring. So I think that's all the intro you need. So yeah, take it away, Amy.
Thank you so much, Paul. I really appreciate you having me. And thanks, everyone. Thanks for making the time today. Thanks for being here. I'm definitely excited to chat with you. So I think we need to get started because we cannot waste time. We definitely did a lot of this already, just making sure you can see, you can hear. Make sure you turn off those distractions. I have been known to go a little college professor when I talk and give a webinar. So there's going to be a ton of information here. And just make sure that you catch it all. So let's get going. We are talking about how to not look stupid vlogging, which is actually kind of a funny title. And I made it that way for a reason because I thought it would catch your attention. But also, some people are looking kind of stupid in this format these days. And it's really, really important that we don't do that when we're representing our brand. So I'm going to walk you through a lot of things that you can do to prevent that. First, I kind of want to give you some examples. The people that are in my community who have been learning about vlogging like a boss are called the socials. And the socials are truly doing just that. They're vlogging so amazingly. I just want to show you one of my clients, Claire Jefford, and she is an interior designer. This was her first YouTube channel. And she did this before we even met. She just started creating and answering questions that her clients would ask her. And this started driving a lot of business for her interior design consultancy and business. And so this was a really cool thing. And she came to me and she said, how can I continue to build this? How can I make it better? But even more so, in Canada, she was becoming known as this amazing interior designer, and more interior designers wanted to know, how did you grow your brand new business so fast? And she's found herself being asked to coach on a lot of things. So we came up with the idea for another channel that was really meant for those interior designers who needed to learn how to do this out on their own. And so that's what we've kind of built here. And she's truly doing such an amazing job. She's getting called to do all these correspondencies at different interior design events. She's hiring people to take care of the interior design business on their own. And she's making a cut from them, working really hard for her so she can continue to grow her personal brand and do a lot of other things and build other revenue strategies into her business. And so this is going extremely well. And I love that I've worked with her because I think she's a shining example of what you might consider today. And you probably walked into this thinking, how can vlogging really help me? This word sort of has a weird connotation right now because we hear a lot of things in the news. We make sort of jump decisions about what a vlogger is, kind of in the same way you already have a decision made in your head about what a lawyer is or what a yoga instructor is. We kind of just already decide in our mind what that person is like and what their purpose must be. But vlogging can really help in so many ways with branding and brand awareness and marketing. And I kind of want to point out some of the reasons why. Obviously, YouTube is getting 30 million visitors per day. 1 billion hours are watched daily. We don't need to hear these numbers over and over. We know that they're insane, but we really should be thinking about numbers like these more often because 53% of US consumers are saying YouTube influenced them to purchase at least once. And actually, 81% of people say a video influenced their decision to buy at all. So that could be any kind of video. And so we know that this medium is extremely important. Now, the question might be asked, what if I don't have many views? Am I not going to be able to get anywhere with this? But I actually think vlogging can help you in so many different ways. And this is the reason why you should get started ASAP. Number one, grow your online community. There is nothing like having a group of people who truly believe in what you're doing and will continue to lift you up. That's going to help you with more exposure, more press, building credibility, obviously getting clients. We'd love to see that happen depending on how our business is structured. Or maybe you're just trying to get your dream job. How can we grow your personal brand for you to land that, get ahead of the crowd with all those resumes stacking up? Increasing your income overall, there's so many ways vlogging can accommodate that. Developing a personal brand if you do not have one already, maybe you're not known at all, and increase product sales. Of course, any of us that has a product, we'd love to see that happen. If we can scale that impact and really build relationships with people and make them want that product because of that relationship, connect you to decision makers. Maybe you want to get in touch with a business or somebody high up in a business, and they probably wouldn't give you the time of day if you called them or sent them an email. But if you made the right video that, even if it wasn't directed right at them, if it was something helpful for them, it might break down the door and get you in front of them. That's a great way to use vlogging. And building your influence overall. Influence is what we really, really have to work with. It's our social proof. It's our ability to show people what we have and why they might be interested in it. And that's what vlogging has really done for so many people, not just me, but my clients and people all over the world. Now, I want to kind of break down on this word even more. What does it really mean to vlog? It can mean a lot of things. It's not just one type of video. To me, vlogging is video blogging. If you can provide value in a video, that's a vlog. So for example, we have Roberto Blake here, a dear friend of mine who does creative tutorials. And that's a great type of vlog because it's very search rich. It's very easy to become an expert because you're showing somebody the steps of how to do something. So that's one way that you can vlog. You can vlog about experiences. We have Love in London here, and she lives in London and talks about London as a perspective from somebody who is from Brooklyn. And she's saying, hey, here's all the places that you would want to go if you're visiting and you're like me, you're an American, and you don't want to do just the touristy stuff. You really want to know what the cool things are. Speaking from any experience will put you far ahead of the crowd. So many people are speaking in our hyperbole and these digital assets online, and maybe they haven't actually done the things they're talking about. Stand apart by experiencing, and travel is just one of those types of experiences you can do in a vlog. Product reviews. You know, if I were to talk to my friend Austin and say, hey, don't you love vlogging? He would be like, I don't think I vlog. But to me, he does. He's really incredible at the art of video, but he breaks down, you know, why would I want to buy this thing? Why would I want to consider this piece of tech as a consumer? And that is a really big type of video that is causing people to make the decision to purchase. And so I think this is an amazing example of vlogging product reviews. And then we have Claire Marshall, who I'd love to say is my friend, but I just truly admire what she's doing. And she really is sort of more fashion, more lifestyle, and she has product of her own, but she also advocates for a lot of products in sort of a brand correspondency capacity. And this is health and beauty, but she really shows you, you know, what's a day in the life like. And that's day in the life is what we see a lot of happening in the vlogging space, but it's not the only thing. But if it's done really well, it can be so effective for product sales and growing a personal brand. So just to give you an idea of how vlogging has helped me, it's helped me a lot, like a lot, a lot. So first and foremost, I started my own business because of vlogging. I was on YouTube before I started business, before I had any entrepreneurial bone in my body. body or even knew what that was. I started a business because I had already created video and shown that I knew how to create a message that would impact people online. It's also helped me sell books. I wrote my first book in 2017, and everyone tells you, hey, your books are only going to do so well. They're a great business card. But because I had built such a rapport with my community, I sold books and they read the books and they loved the books. And it was because it was really made for that target audience and resonated with them. Also, sponsorships have to come into play at some point when you're trying to sustain certain types of content or certain types of campaigns overall. And so sponsorships have helped a ton with the things that I try to do on my YouTube channel to keep it really interesting for my audience. I'm traveling internationally because why not? That's something I wanted to happen in my life, and that's how vlogging has been able to help as well. And part of that travel comes from speaking. It was kind of wild when I started creating video and people were saying, hey, I want you to come speak on a stage for me. And I was like, do understand I talk to a camera in my room alone by myself? Why do you think I can walk on stage and talk to thousands of people? But actually, when you start to become a really good communicator and talk to people through the lens of a camera, it can totally translate in a speaking capacity. And I am loving being a speaker. Never thought in a million years that would be the case, but I do. Obviously, selling more courses because people are into what I'm doing. They want to learn more about how to do what I'm doing. And that is in turn helping me sell what I've created. I started a second business. My husband and I decided we wanted to reach a different type of customer, doing similar work, but obviously customizing for that person. And so that's happened in the last couple of years. I live location independently. I might be on a plane today, or I might be in my office tomorrow. It could be absolutely anywhere. And I make that decision, which I love. I have grown my email list because of vlogging, which is really important, I think, to a lot of us that are here today, because we know that these algorithms are really taking over in a big way and we have to work with them. But if we have our own assets as well, we can continue to survive, we can continue to sell, we can continue to promote in an intimate capacity, in a place where someone has said, I trust you and I want you to keep in touch with me. I've also been able to collaborate with influential people and get clients from all over the world. There's really no restriction for who I can work with. And so vlogging has helped in so many ways. And I don't want you to think that it's very limited. I just also want you to know that this is probably the most important one to me. I love to stay home with Lucy. So that's what location independent winning looks like to me. I really just want to share that vlog boss process with you today because there's so many things that I've been able to do, but it's because of a lot of hard work that I've put in. And I don't want you to make the same mistakes that a lot of others are making and mistakes that I have made throughout my career. So here's the agenda for what we're going over. First and foremost, the biggest mistake people make when beginning their vlog. Next, we'll talk about the unsuspecting error that is killing your video. You're going to want to skip this. The most important step of vlogging, and no, it's not actually the video. How to dismiss your fear of vlogging and looking stupid. And the step you can take today to take your vlogs to the next level. I definitely want to do Q&A while you guys are here. I love to take your questions, your real questions, your questions that matter to you most in this moment so we can break those down and get you started ASAP. And then I would love to do a giveaway if you will hang out with me until the end. Before we get into any of that, ninja tip right off the bat. And don't forget to take notes. They're going to come in handy later on. YouTube, #2 search engine in the world. This is probably not a surprise. We all know that YouTube is owned by Google, and those two search platforms work really, really well together. So I just want to show you one example video on my channel that is performing really, really well. It's called Beginner Video Editing. That doesn't suck, with a lot of views on it. But where are those views coming from? Well, I just want to show you two of the traffic sources for this video according to my YouTube analytics. And so you'll see there's two columns of numbers here. I really just want you to look at the second column. This first column is watch time. So that's the number of minutes that have been watched from that traffic source, while that second column is where those views are coming from. That's the number of views overall that are factoring into the big number, but that are coming from these two traffic sources. And so we have suggested videos and YouTube search. Now, If you don't understand how to categorize your video, how to write out your copy, how to really formulate your search engine optimization, these numbers would not be where they are today. YouTube needs to understand what this video is about. Sure, we can claim that YouTube is watching our video, but actually, they're looking at a few key things: your headline, your description, and your tags. Those are the three major areas of a YouTube video. So for me to get suggested traffic as high as 289,000 views and YouTube search as high as 109 is because of that SEO. And I want to tell you how you can work on that and not feel completely in the dark about how you do this properly. And just before I do that, I just want to show you YouTube search is sending me quite a bit. It says 24%, but suggested is 62%. And that does have a lot to do with SEO because it's those videos that show up in the sidebar or at the end of another video. And other videos are sending me traffic in addition to search. Because if somebody saw something they really like, YouTube wants them to continue on that track to stay happy. And so that's where those two traffic sources are coming from. Just wanted to give you some clarity there on what suggested content meant. But if we're looking at YouTube as the number 2 search engine in the world, we need to make sure we are not stupid and we do it right. And we use a tool like TubeBuddy. This is the tool that has given me the ability to make sure that all of my copy is exactly where it needs to be based on what TubeBuddy is telling me works in the search world. So I'm just going to show you, for example, how this goes. This is what the Tag Explorer looks like for TubeBuddy. Now, what does that mean? This is a pop-up that will show up on youtube.com once you have downloaded TubeBuddy as an extension for your Google Chrome browser. I believe it works for Firefox as well. You'll have these additional functionalities that work on YouTube. And so I'm going to type in here high-end watches to see how is this term going to work if I wanted to do a video about high-end watches. And it's going to tell me if it's a good idea for the video to not only be about that content, but for me to use those words in the copy, specifically in the title, in the description, in the tags. So what you can see here on the right is the keyword score, and you'll see the search volume and the competition for that term are being weighed in a way that it's saying, yeah, you know what, this is a good idea. This is not competitive and is also not searched for very often, making it a good keyword to target. If you are targeting people who search for high-end watches, that might not be hundreds of millions of people. But if it's a target audience that are interested in that particular thing, it might be a good idea to use that term. So even though they're saying it's not searched super frequently, it's a little bit higher up on that green scale, but you don't have a lot of competition. So you could be the number 1 result for that, which, by the way, is great for Google, because when Google is trying to factor in video results on their homepage and you're a top result on their number 1 video platform, then here we go. We've got a really good measurement of your content ranking in search. Now, how do we do that? We want to use the term that we test in those places: title, description, tags, but these are additional tags you can also use, and they are also weighted, saying like, well, most videos have this in their tags, so we want to use these terms. And once you get into 15, 10, 5, they don't matter as much. But these top 5 are going to be tags you definitely want to include in your video to make sure that you're hanging with the rest of the results that are in search. Those tags are much more important than people give credit for. And so I want you to consider that. This is an affiliate link here at the bottom if you do want to check out TubeBuddy. To be honest, TubeBuddy.com, you can check it out, /SavvySexySocial if you want to give me some credit, but I use it for free a lot of the times. I don't even use paid options. It is absolutely something that you should have in your browser. Highly, highly recommended. So just a reminder, we're going to dig into that agenda. As I said earlier, keep taking notes. You're going to want to use those notes if you want to be a part of the giveaway later on, and get those distractions out of here. We've got to get started. Just a quick synopsis of who I am, and I know Paul did a great job of describing me, you're probably wondering, how did I end up here? How am I talking to you about this today? Well, I am a video content marketing strategist. I own a couple of companies where we do this in a studio, whether it is one-on-one with coaching clients who are a little bit smaller size companies. And also at Aftermark, we work with much larger brands on their campaigns. I've been on YouTube for 10 years, which is kind of wild. This is my channel. You can find it at youtube.com/AmyTV. I'm also all over the social because it's just what I live for. And I wrote a book about this. It's a really good place to start as well. If you want the manual for vlogging like a boss, you can go check out Vlog Like a Boss on Amazon. And I just live for speaking. Here is just one example of where I am running all over the world telling everyone about vlogging because I really, really believe in it. I just, at the end of the day, help people go after the life that they want. That's what means a lot to me. That's why I'm really here right now. And the context of that for you is I'm going to teach you how to leverage video so that we can make that happen. So let's make it happen. The biggest mistake that people make when beginning their vlogs, you should be scurrying to write notes right now. Let's imagine that your viewer is sitting down for coffee with you. And that's because you go to coffee once a week together. You sit down, you talk, you love to see each other. Well, you probably wouldn't walk into that coffee appointment and say, "Hey, I'm Amy Landino. Really appreciate you being here. You can find me at amylandino.com. I love making videos. I'm thinking about doing it once a week, and you'd want to come back for that. That'd be awesome." You probably wouldn't do that, right? Because no one really wants your elevator pitch. Your coffee friend doesn't want your elevator pitch, and your end viewer also doesn't want your elevator pitch. So, what I'm showing you right here is my authority video formula. Now, you can find out later on how you can get the entire thing and really understand the entirety of it, but I want you to envision that green line is the timeline for your video. What we're talking about here is the 8-second rule. At the 8-second mark, so many people make this terrible, terrible mistake of missing it because at the 8-second mark, on average, a YouTube viewer decides to stay or leave. So imagine this. You walk into your one-on-one coffee or your YouTube video, and 8 seconds in, you're listening to an elevator pitch and you desperately want to leave. And you're like, oh my God, this is not what I wanted at all. We do not want this to be the case for your viewer. We want them to stick around. So don't look stupid. The best thing for you to do in this situation is have a plan. You need to have an opening, you have your content, and you have your close. You've got to have that structure in place or this is not going to work out for you. That opening should be right around 10 to 15 seconds. We want to know by that 8-second mark that you're getting to your point, that you have value to deliver, that the title I clicked on is going to be interesting and you're going to deliver on it. And I know that I'm not wasting my time. But if you're in the middle of some long-winded, awkward elevator pitch because you don't know how else to start a video, then you're probably going to lose those people. You also want to make sure you envision your perfect viewer. You should know your perfect customer. You should know what they look like. You should know what they think about. You should know how they lose sleep. You should know what their commute is like. You should know what their life is like. And when you envision that person, you're going to do a much better job of delivering content for them. So dive into what you promised them. Just get straight into it. Tease it a little bit at the beginning. Really let them know you're going to get to your point and keep going. All right, that's tip number 1. Now, tip number 2, the unsuspecting error that is killing your video. And I don't think this one's going to come as any surprise. One more scenario for you here. I want you to envision your perfect viewer and they are commuting home and they're about to turn your video on and they're really excited. They're ready to watch and they have their earbuds in. They're listening because they're in a public environment. So they really need to make sure they can hear you and that nobody else is listening to their phone. And they click play. And suddenly when the video starts to play, they hear this gust of wind and it's really, really bothersome. And it's like, I don't know if I like this so far. And suddenly also there's construction in the background. They hear like backing beeps and it's really annoying. And you're talking, but all of this stuff is going on at the same time. And then they're still there just a couple more seconds. The wind just gets worse and worse and worse. And then suddenly it's a tornado and you're starting to realize it's not that great. And you still publish the video and that viewer just decided to get out. Swipe, I'm out. What's the issue here? Bad audio. Bad audio is killing your video, killing it dead. It doesn't matter how good your lighting is. It doesn't matter if your hair was perfect that day. If your audio was disruptive, they're gone. So don't look stupid. Test your shot first. If you have to be outside and you're worried about environment, really get an understanding for what you're dealing with. And I probably wouldn't recommend this for a lot of different reasons anyway. But another thing could be you're just in a very large room. There's no carpet, there's nothing on the walls. If your voice echoes in your own ears, it's really echoing on that camera. And so, really thinking, okay, is this the best experience, especially for someone who's listening with earbuds in, which is always the perfect test. That's really important to test out. Internal microphones work best indoors and with carpet. So, like I just said, I can use my little vlogging camera that doesn't have external audio. If I'm in my office where it's a really confined environment and there's not a whole lot of sound bouncing around. So, no big deal there. But you want to avoid those bad audio environments altogether because you're just going to destroy your video if you try to make it work. Now, you could also upgrade your smartphone with a plug-in microphone. I highly recommend the smartphone, and especially because they have so many options on the market, and I'll talk about one in just a second, that allows you to plug in a mic, and it can be a little lavalier that you clip onto your shirt. So maybe you are outside, or maybe you are in an environment where you need to kind of control and sync up that audio a little bit better. You can have these options available to you, and they're totally economical and available to you on things like Amazon.com. And always edit videos and test videos with your headphones on. I just said that to you. I cannot say it enough. I have seen so many huge creators, huge brands make this mistake, and it's just silly. Don't be lazy. Put those headphones in. A couple that I recommend in terms of lavalier microphones, that Rode SmartLav Plus is available for your smartphone. Now, remember, if you have an updated iPhone, you're going to have to get a little bit of a what are those things called? Like a converter jack, because we don't have the headphone jack anymore, but that's still possible for you to use. It still works like a charm if you do that. The Sennheiser AVX is an example of a very expensive microphone that only works with cameras that take external audio sources, but it's a really good option for that. So if you're looking at a couple of different pieces of gear that you'd like to maybe check out to upgrade your audio, then these are two that I recommend. You can find more details about audio and any camera gear that I recommend at vloglikeaboss.com/shop. My third tip is the most important step in vlogging. And no, it's not the video. That's weird, right? Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at this layout here on YouTube. What are we looking at? You get home. This is your homepage. This is you logged in. You're looking and you're like, what's going on here? And you decide you want to click on a video. Well, I want you to pretend like you're just making that decision on one thing. Let's look at the video in the context of just the YouTube channel. That is different, right? But when it's here, you're like, oh, that looks like an interesting video, and you'll click on it. So we are making the decision based on a thumbnail. And on the channel itself, this may not be that impressive. The thumbnail did a good job, but the channels now it's a little bit weird and I don't know what I'm looking at, but I never saw this if I just clicked on the video. I just clicked on the thumbnail. That photo is really important. Just imagine if my channel looked like this. Yeah, that's the thumbnail for that video. That's a real video I did. Like that's terrible. Nobody's clicking on that. Nobody definitely no one's clicking on it if they're looking at the channel. But can you imagine if that video was on the homepage? Not interested. The most important step to vlogging is promotion. Okay? And the best promotion doesn't tell you to watch. It shows you why. It should show you why you already want to watch. So here's how we're not going to look stupid in this case. Every single video needs a custom thumbnail image. It has to happen. It needs a custom thumbnail image. You've got to test your thumbnails. Would you click this? Would you want to click on that? Does that seem to back up the title of the video to say, yes, this is going to be what I want it to be. This is what I expect it to be. And I think it's going to be a good option. Learn from those design mistakes and make sure that you don't do them again in the future. Don't cut your head off. Don't let YouTube provide your thumbnail options. Design them specifically and upload them. And then leverage those YouTube features to present an awesome channel. So thumbnails are a really important place to start. This is where I would advise you check out for some guidance on this, vloglikeaboss.com/thumbnails. That's going to take you directly to my YouTube video called How I Edit My Thumbnails. And that's going to give you some direction on how that works. That's a 2017 version. I'm going to come out with a new version this year, but it's still very good direction on what makes a good thumbnail. The other thing I want you to look at is this. This is my YouTube channel for my company Aftermark. And you'll see the pink arrow here is pointing at one phrase in particular. It says SAP Small Business. Well, this is my YouTube channel, but I am leveraging content from another YouTube channel to make it look like there is more going on my YouTube channel. We don't have that many videos yet. We're getting there, but we sure have done a lot of work for our clients. So when I hear a lot of people say, oh, well, I can't make my channel look better because I've only uploaded 3 videos so far. This is what it is. True, but you could also find really creative ways to fill some more space and make it look like there's more going on, which is going to help you with getting a little bit more of a subscriber base and make it look like you've got just things going on. I'd even create a thumbnail, excuse me, a playlist, and these are all playlists. That's a function of YouTube you can use. I would use a playlist of videos you recommend, even if you had nothing to do with them, just to set the tone for what your channel will be like in the future as you're continuing to grow. So just don't forget that you have all of these features at your disposal to make the experience better for your potential viewer base. The fourth tip, how to dismiss your fear of vlogging and looking stupid. It's super intimidating, right? We're sitting here and we're just talking to this camera and talking and talking and talking. And it just feels so weird because this thing is staring at us and it feels like it's judging us a little bit. And I don't know. It's like, how do you really break down the walls of this fear if you're looking at this all the time? But actually, when you are looking at this, you're feeling a little stupid because you're looking at it all wrong. So I really want to hear from you on this one. I want you to use the question section. I'm going to go through a few fears of vlogging. No matter what perspective you're coming from the fear from your business, from the fear from you personally, whenever you see a number that pops up that resonates with you, I just want you to type that in the question section. Nobody can see it but us, just you and me. And so just type it in there whenever you feel like you've thought about this in terms of video in the past, or maybe currently. Number one, my friends and family won't understand what I'm doing. They'll think it's weird. Number two, people will laugh at me. Number three, negative comments. I'm not interested in seeing negativity online. I definitely don't want to see it about myself. Number four, I don't have a good enough camera. We don't have what we need here. Number five, YouTube is oversaturated. There's too much going on. I can't possibly stand out at this point. There's no way. Number six, people will think I'm narcissistic. Yeah, aren't we all narcissistic? They're going to think I'm just ridiculous. Why would I do this? Why would I put myself out there in this place? Number seven, no one cares what I think. If they can Google it, they can find their answer somewhere else. Why would I do something like that? Why would I put myself out there for that? Number eight, I'm not creating something new. Again, oversaturated. It's already out there. They'll find it. Number nine, I wasn't born to be on camera. I don't have that capability. I don't have that in me. My sister was the cheerleader. I was the one hiding from the camera. That's my story. I wasn't born to be on camera. Number 10, I'm not lucky like the good vloggers. I won't be able to get lucky like that. Number 11, I'm ugly. Like I'm literally just ugly. I have a face for radio. This is not happening. I don't get it. I couldn't possibly, I can't do it. Number 12, anything else you can think of because you're afraid to take the chance. Obviously, some of this resonated with you guys. I could see it in the questions, and we don't have to dig into those specifics. But I don't want you to feel stupid. I don't want you to feel afraid to take the chance. You got to remember who number one is because it's you. Nobody's going to jump on the bandwagon until you're already cooking. until you're already cooking down the road. No one's on your team until they want to be. And you've got to stop talking to a camera or your closest friends. Both are not what we're going for here, unless your closest friends happen to be your target demo. But your camera and your closest friends are not who we're really doing this for. When we look at the lens, we look at the perfect viewer, we look at that ideal customer, and we cater to them. And that is how you keep from the feelings of stupid or narcissistic or why me or this is redundant or everyone else is doing this. And instead of you letting it all catch up to you, you show everyone what you're made of. I can't tell you this enough. When you finally step out of your comfort zone, it's so amazing. I did everything everyone told me to do. I became a full-time public policy assistant. I was experimenting with YouTube, which basically meant filming my friends because I was afraid of the camera. I was totally bored of my life and I had no life purpose. I didn't like anything I was doing. I just was showing up for work every day and trying to get it done. And I was in complete denial of my ability to give to the world. I didn't think I had any value whatsoever. And if you could have told me then that I was going to be here, I would have laughed. I would have laughed so, so hard because the reality is I had to find it. I had to figure it out, but I had to take action to make it happen. And the only way that I knew that there was a possibility of me doing this was when I first made that first video. I just made that first video and I made the difference with that first video and I just kept going. So I'm hoping that you can see the power of vlogging here because there's so much. There's so much to consider. There's so much to talk about. But we've talked about avoiding the mistakes that new vloggers make. We've talked about optimizing your videos for a more impressive brand. We've talked about the power of influence with video blogging, which is very important no matter what our goals are. And we've talked about how to grow your audience organically. So, my question is, with all of that in mind, have we started to get somewhere? I'd love to see the answer yes or heck yeah, something in the questions. I want to know, did you take something away from this that makes you see the power of vlogging, that makes you want to take a next step? Awesome. We have you betcha. We have I'm interested in starting. Awesome. Yes, yes, yeah, yuppers. Awesome. Okay, good. Great, you guys. So I have some advanced step-by-step strategies I would love to tell you about. And so here we go. I've been working on this for some time and it's pretty new. My book came out last year and I just was able to come up with this year. And it's called Vlog Like a Boss, the Masterclass. Overall, this program is going to dig into a lot of things, optimizing your videos and your channel to attract the perfect viewer, designing a strategy of addictive content for your audience to love, building up your confidence on camera and off, choosing the video gear that's right for you, monetizing your videos. I think we're all interested in that one. Editing your videos like a pro, vlog like a boss, and editing is a part of that process. So if you're bootstrapping that, this will be super interesting for you. Growing your brand organically and authentically, and also allowing you to do a lot of things in turn because you took action. Go get that dream job, become a known brand in your industry, create impact for the people you love to help. Start the side hustle, do that project that you love and make more income because of it. Build your business, travel the world, and go after the life that you want. These are all things that you can do by taking action. So here's what happens in the masterclass. I'm going to give you a quick overview. In week 1, it's all about a confidence strategy, what to share in your videos, how to measure success, how to create excellent on-camera presence. I know we all want that because we're all thinking, I don't know if I have that in me. And the secret to a great video every single time. That's a big important one, right? I want to make sure every video matters, even if I have some growing to do as a personality. Week 2, camera ready, professional pre-production steps for a great shoot. A video topic idea bank development, because we got to keep all the ideas ready to go. Gear, what should you be using on any budget? We're going to talk about this. And your video schedule, how to stay consistent. In week 3, we're going to talk about getting your vlog on, what to do once you hit record, my Vlogboss checklist so that you make sure you hit every mark throughout each individual video, how to edit a fabulous vlog, jump cutting tutorial. This is great for those of us who aren't perfect on camera, but we want to get our point across as effectively as possible. And jump cutting is a great technique to help you do that. And optimizing your videos and YouTube channel for discoverability. In week 4, we're at Vlogboss status. It's all about collaboration techniques to grow quickly and organically, how to promote like a boss with social media, how to go beyond the vlog, monetizing your video presence. This is a lot of stuff that I know a lot of people want to dig into. Once we have those principles at the beginning and we start to roll everything out accordingly, we can start to understand how does collaboration and promotion and monetization play a role in all of this. I just want to read you something from Andrea. She's worked with me in the past with a course and said, because of vlogging, I will have my first talk at the biggest mall in the Philippines, Mall of Asia, about content creation and lined up with the most popular channels in the Phils. Apparently, that's what they call the Philippines in the Phils. And Carson said something really cool. I just want to say thank you. This is my second video, and here it is. I'm not guaranteeing these results, but holy crap, if he just tried, if he just put himself out there, and he did, and he took the chance, he had such an incredible impact. And if you were to watch this video, if you find it on Facebook, I tell you what, he was so amazing at locking eyes with his ideal viewer and being really vulnerable and really honest in that video. And it made such an impact. So I'm really grateful to have been able to work with people like these two. And coaching with me is kind of expensive. Let's just get real. Time is money, money is time. If you want to work with me on a group coaching capacity, it's $500 a month or $2,500 for 6 months. We have one-on-one coaching with Platinum. That's much more. A 1-hour keynote, I'm charging 4 figures for that or more. And I just got to thinking, I need to have more impact than this. I need to be able to do more. And that's why the masterclass is available. If I want to be able to spread my impact across the world, I need to be able to do that for everyone, not just those who can work with me one-on-one. And so that's why the masterclass is $297. It's the perfect next step for those people that really are taking this seriously. If you're an action taker, this is for you. If you're not, leave it. Leave it on the table. Take the tips that I gave you. And, if you want to just continue to dilly-dally, that's up to you. This is for action takers, period. I also want to make sure that you get as much value as possible. Everything I do, I just want everyone to have it. So my 30 Days to Better Vlogging micro course is also included in this price. That's a really great little coaching class for 30 days. You'll get these reminders and quick little videos as you go along as well. Really complimentary to what you're doing in the masterclass. And if you want to look at the details in depth on this, it's all at vlabmasterclass.com. And I also wanted to make this even more cool for you guys. I'm so grateful to AdEspresso for doing this. And I thought if there's anyone interested in this class today, I wanted to say, how about a channel review? Because I know some of you have a YouTube channel and you might just need some adjustments here or tips there. And I want to be able to make that available to you today. So the first 3 people who jump in on this are going to get that channel review from me. I'm going to pop on screen share software and I'm just going to record 5 to 10 minutes of what I think you could be doing or changing on your YouTube channel to make it a little bit better, to get an edge on everyone else. And that'll be included in the price as well as the 30 days to better vlogging. So that's everything that I have going on. You can get started at vlabmasterclass.com. And I also want to make sure that you remember the giveaway. So if you took notes, very, very important, I want you to use your smartphone and take a photo of those notes, or maybe you're just screenshotting. Maybe you took the notes on your phone and post a picture of it on facebook.com/vlogboss. That's my Facebook page. And my assistant Meg and I are going to choose a winner after we get off here and let you know if you won. We're going to choose one person to get a free copy of my book, Vlog Like a Boss. I will sign it. I will put it in the mail to you. I don't care where you live. I don't care what country it is. Facebook.com/vlogboss. If you post a picture of your notes, we're going to draw one of those people who shared their notes and send them a book again, because I'm super grateful to AdEspresso for doing this with me. So with that, I don't know if anyone has any questions they want to dig into while we hang out here for a few more minutes. I think we have a few more minutes to chat if it's not too much trouble for everybody. And you can again find out all the details about Vlab, the masterclass at vlabmasterclass.com. And just another reminder that there is a 30-day money back guarantee because I don't sell anything I don't believe in. I've been teaching this for a very long time, and I know that this will help you so much if you're taking this medium seriously. So, let's see if we have any questions coming in. I will look for those in the question section. Paul, what did you think?
Amy, that's a really, really awesome presentation. And I think that's something where that video is just getting more and more important. We do a lot of work with Facebook, and it's just all about video these days. So, yeah, I think whether you're doing Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or YouTube, that kind of course, and especially the channel review is really good there.
Thank
Just see,
you.
we've got a question coming in from Tozin asking, so Ray saying he's interested in starting vlogging. What kind of editing software and tutorials do you recommend to start with there?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the masterclass, I talk about this and it's in the Final Cut Pro software. So that's what I particularly use. And again, it is pro software. So that's something to consider. But if you're not quite there yet, which I think a lot of people aren't, it's a lot to take on, but you are more of an Apple user than a Windows user, I would probably be looking at iMovie because the nice thing about it is it's sort of the first step to being able to approach Final Cut Pro in the future. And if you're going to continue to bootstrap editing and do it on your own, I definitely recommend iMovie for that. There's also tools in apps on your phone. So if you wanted to literally edit your product all the way to the end on your phone, you could totally do that. So there's something to consider there. And I think there's some intermediate options as well. Cyberlink is always a company that I've looked at for intermediate software options. Those tend to be like $100 or so. And the important thing is that it's a linear editor. So you're able to look at your video in sort of a line across the board. And I think that's really, really helpful. So that's my recommendation. Like I said, I started on Windows Movie Maker when I had a desktop gateway, whatever it was, in my kitchen. And so I think you can really use anything that's comfortable to you. I've also used Adobe Premiere Pro. I think that's a really massive spaceship for people to try to understand when they're vlogging. And Final Cut Pro is a little bit easier in terms of user experience, in my opinion. So, definitely have opinions across the board on that, but I would definitely look at iMovie if you're on an Apple and you want to eventually get to Final Cut Pro because those two look so similar, but Final Cut will give you a ton more in terms of creative flexibility.
Awesome. We use Camtasia sometimes at AdEspresso for our little campaign reviews. It's just a kind of in between. Always find that it's good for people to just get one software package that they find that works, even if it costs a little bit up front, but obviously not too much like Final Cut Pro. We find these
Yeah,
people that are trying to use free tools, they just end up spending so much time. You're better off just buying one package up front and kind of
totally.
just, yeah, sticking with it. Got another question there from Daniel asking about vlogging in more than one language. We get quite a lot of international users, like some post in English and some Spanish. Do you have any experience with that at all?
Anytime I've talked to people about this, to me, when we're talking about envisioning your perfect viewer, when you do that, you have to think, well, what language are they speaking? And so that's the big takeaway here. If, for instance, you have lots of perfect viewers and they might speak multiple languages, they're still different in that way. So if you have a channel and you're uploading an English version, a version and a Spanish version, you're giving permission to people who are subscribed who don't speak Spanish to skip the Spanish versions. And that's not great for growing a platform. So, what I've seen done, and this is a lot of work, but in the cases where it truly benefits you to have multiple languages covered, you could do multiple channels, or you could just do one main language and opt for translated captions. But to me, I think the people that truly have a big audience in two different languages are best served with two different channels because you're going to be more discovered and easily discovered because you catered to the language in particular that is meant to serve that audience. So I've actually seen this done. I've seen a beauty channel who was a Hispanic young lady, and she had an English version of her channel and she had a Spanish version of her channel. And I'm pretty sure she filmed them separately and did them separately every single time. It was really, really fascinating, but it was the same topic for every video that she rolled out.
Awesome. I'll just see if there's any more questions coming in, but I've got a couple of questions for you
Yeah.
as well while you're here. What kind of platforms do you recommend? Are you still seeing YouTube as the main one for vlogging? Are you doing a bit of Facebook or Instagram or even things like Twitter? Where do you kind of focus your percentage of efforts there?
I would have to say that YouTube is like my main lady. I mean, like that's just always been the best place for me because I offer a lot of practical advice in addition to just sort of day in the life stuff. So because of that, YouTube is great because it's again the second largest search engine in the world. So with all of that in mind, YouTube is definitely the spot for me, but I'm using so many other platforms to cross promote and to repurpose because I know that my audience can be in a lot of different places, but I sort of have my core few. It's really just YouTube and Instagram and Twitter that are the main places that my audience and I communicate. And the other places like LinkedIn and Facebook, they're fantastic for other purposes and for continuing to grow the presence in different ways and repurpose content in other ways. And I also think that they're great for other people. If let's say your vlog is very B2B, maybe LinkedIn would be the best option no matter what. You really have to look at who is your viewer, who are you trying to get a hold of, who are you trying to grab onto and have them follow you in those places. I think if you do that, you'll figure out which platform is the best, but YouTube is so massive. And even if it's having, a few issues here and there with monetization people are upset about and all these kinds of things, YouTube is still the number one to me. I think it's just too big to tear down, and Facebook's right on its heels, but Facebook has its own issues as well. Facebook search is quite honestly terrible, and viewer experience is very different there. So you just have to understand the context of every platform.
Does, and I think video on Facebook is only really 3, maybe 4 years old, whereas YouTube's been around for what,
Right.
10 years now. So it is quite a mature platform compared to Facebook. Yeah, I've just
Yeah.
got one last question for you. We're seeing on Facebook that if you are doing organic video, then Facebook Live just gets much more engagement, much more reach, much more shares. Where you're doing the live and afterwards. What are you seeing on YouTube? Do you find that there's any advantage to using live streams on there, or is pre-recorded best way to go for?
So everything is about the promise that you made your community. I think if live works, then that's awesome. Live has worked for me. I have some videos that were live that lasted. And it kind of goes back to what we were just saying. A Facebook video is probably going to die in a couple of days, where a YouTube video could live on for 10 years. And it's like insane that that's true, but it is. So for me, live is very in the moment, and I think that worked amazingly on Facebook. But even Facebook is kind of kiboshing it a little bit. Like they just know that everyone's doing everything to get more organic reach, and they're really pushing it down. I think live is a great idea on Facebook, and I would probably go live on Facebook just to promote a YouTube video because I know my YouTube link isn't going to be any good over there, but I can go live and have a real conversation, and that might be more effective. On YouTube, the live has been great, but I think if you can't make it worthwhile for the long term, if it's really real time, it's probably not going to be the most advantageous piece of content over the long term, which is really what we're shooting for on YouTube. Because again, videos can last and be promoted and in search and on the front page of YouTube for so long. So really understanding that the replay experience matters big time in all of these different places is super important in my opinion.
Awesome. Thanks, Amy. So if anybody's got any questions after the webinar, where's the best place they can reach you? Is it on your YouTube channel or Twitter or Facebook?
Yeah,
If
I
anybody's
love
got anything there.
Absolutely. You can find everything in terms of what we talked about today at vladmasterclass.com. And if you want to hit me up on Twitter, it's at Schmatastic. Just search for Amy Landino pretty much everywhere and you're going to find me. And I just love to Instagram DM, love to tweet, love to answer questions. So feel free anytime.
Awesome. So just a reminder to everybody to take those photos of your notes and upload to Amy's
Yeah.
Facebook page. And I think it's a little note there from Meg saying that it might not appear on like your main feed, but it's I think Facebook these days kind of hides away community posts, but Amy will definitely see those and then pick a winner from there to get the book. So yeah,
Yes.
upload those photos. Brilliant. Well, thanks so much today, Amy, for taking the time to promote video there, saying, some of us are Facebook users primarily as well, but it's those tips are all transferable. So there's a lot we can learn there. And that looks like a really awesome class that you got there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
thank you.
thanks for joining us today. Those tips are really useful. And yeah, I hope everybody finds these useful and make sure you reach out to Amy if anybody's got any questions there. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks.